Next topic of interest is going to be ITP. What is ITP? Idiopathic thrombocytopenic purpura, right? So do we know why it happens? Most of the time, no, it's idiopathic. We don't know. But anybody who comes with ITP, typically what's going to happen? They're going to have a low platelet count. You're not going to have your pentad of symptoms. You're not going to have your microangiopathic hemolytic anemia. You're going to have an isolated thrombocytopenia and no other reason to explain why this patient's platelet is low. Okay? Now when your platelet starts to drop, at what point are you actually going to have symptoms?
Less than 30,000?
Yes. If it becomes less than 30K is when you're going to actually have symptoms such as petechiae, purpura. Above that, you're not going to really have much symptoms at all. Okay? So once you start seeing, you're like, okay, from my workup, it seems it's only thrombocytopenia. So you think it is ITP. Now, what is ITP associated with? What are the tests you have to get on these patients? HIV.
Yeah, my role is...
Hepatitis B and C. What else? SLE, CLL. It's actually associated with these conditions. So you can actually look for these conditions to see. But sometimes they will not have any of these conditions. That's why it is idiopathic. We don't know why it happens. I mean, we know why it happens, but we don't know what's triggering it. Okay? Now, remember I said, so ITP is when you have autoantibodies against the platelet, right? Autoantibodies against the platelet, right? And I said GP2B3A receptor, right, is what the antibody was against. So when it comes to a diagnosis, when you suspect ITP, how are you going to diagnose it?
Exclusion, right?
It is actually a diagnosis of exclusion. Should you order these antibodies to see? No, you actually don't. Despite knowing that is the antibody against it, they do not recommend doing that. It's a diagnosis of exclusion. Okay? So when it comes to ITP, diagnosis of exclusion, and how are you going to treat them? What is your treatment? If somebody comes to the hospital, most of the time you see these patients who present with ITP, they'll come with their platelet count 20,000, 30,000 chronically, but sometimes they can come with 1,000. Sometimes less than 1,000 platelet count, less than 10,000, right? So it's pretty low when it comes to a platelet count. So when they're in the hospital, how are you going to treat them?
Give them platelets.
Well, is your platelets going to get destroyed if you give platelets?
Well, yeah.
Because you got antibodies.
Plasmapheresis, you exchange it.
Let's start with something cheaper.
Steroids.
Steroids, right? You will start them on steroids. How much steroids? 1 mg per kg. Okay, or prednisone, you can start. Okay, you can start them on prednisone, steroids. So steroids is going to be your number one treatment. Okay, you can try steroids for a few days. If they respond, great. If they don't respond, what can you do then?
Rituximab.
You could do rituximab, yes. You could do rituximab if they don't respond, because you are blocking CD20, which is your B cell marker. Block the B cell from producing antibodies until it chill out for a second, right? But what if the platelet count was so low, like 1,000, right? And you're doing steroids, it's not improving. What are you going to do then? If it is severe,
IVIG.
you can do IVIG. Okay, you'll do IVIG in those patients. Okay, and eventually, most of the time when you start patients on steroid, rituximab, IVIG, it'll take a while, but they will respond. Okay, they will respond and the platelet count will improve. And once they get into a place of remission, they might end up being on rituximab or steroids on the long run. Okay, but they can keep having frequent relapses. So if somebody is having multiple relapses or not responding to treatment, what are you going to do? Splenectomy. Because the destruction of these platelets actually happens in the spleen, but they do not recommend removing the spleen at least until you've exhausted medical therapy for at least a year. Reason is, even after you do splenectomy, the thrombocytopenia can continue. It doesn't completely solve it. Why is that? It doesn't mean you're only going to destroy it in the spleen. There's other areas where the platelets are going to get destroyed also. Okay? But typically when it comes to ITP, steroids, rituximab, very severe IVIG, all in all everything fails, go for splenectomy. This is all to prevent the antibodies from destroying the platelets, right? is your bone marrow fine? His bone marrow is fine, right? So can you maybe think of it a little different? Say, hey, how about, I know you're destroying all my platelets. I have you on this medicines. What if I stimulate my bone marrow to produce more platelets? Would that help?
Yes.
Yes. So is there a role for thrombopoietin? Thrombopoietin? Yes. What are the drugs? L-trombobag, romiplastim. Okay. It is basically a thromboplastin analog, basically stimulates your bone marrow to produce more platelets. So there's two ways to think about it. Either tell the B cells and the antibodies to chill out and stop eating all the platelets like Pac-Man. Okay, at the same time, you can stimulate the bone marrow saying, let's produce a little bit more, so we are okay. Platelet indications, when to give. If it is less than 10,000, okay, even in the absence of any symptoms, you have to give them platelets. Even if it's going to consume, doesn't matter, you give platelets. Okay, reason is there's an increased risk of spontaneous intracranial hemorrhage below 10,000. That's why. Okay.
Less than 50. What surgery you have to give?
If somebody's going to undergo
Neurosurgery.
any surgery, which is major surgery, you want to maintain your platelet count greater than 50K. What if somebody's going to undergo neurosurgery?
100,000.
Neurosurgery or ocular surgery, you want to be greater than
100,000.
100,000. If somebody's coming with a GI bleed, you want to maintain greater than 50,000. If somebody's got an intracranial bleed, you want to be greater than 100,000. Okay, these are some of the numbers.
Overt bleeding, like I guess that would be the GI bleed then.
GI bleed,
yeah.
greater than 50,000 is where you want to be. Okay. Now, when you give a unit of platelets, 1 unit of platelet, when you give it, how much should your platelet count go up by?
30,000.
20 to 30K. It should go up by 20 to 30K. What if it does not go up by even 10,000? What is that called? Platelet transfusion refractoriness, meaning there are antibodies in this patient's blood. Okay, if it doesn't go up by even 10,000, then platelet transfusion refractoriness, meaning there is antibody. Thank you for watching. If you like our content, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon so you get notified when a video is released every week. Have fun studying. We'll see you on the next one.